Ah, look who it is, the person who committed to their fitness journey and then threw it all away. You've let me down, you've let your family down, most importantly, you've let yourself down. Except that's not really the case, is it? Because it's not your full-time job to be in shape. Real people often go in and out of fitness journeys. Sometimes you're fully dialed, hitting everything perfectly, and sometimes life gets in the way. Busy project at work, big breakup, getting married, two ends of the same spectrum. Bottom line is this, sometimes you're gonna fall off your diet. I'm gonna give you some simple, actionable steps in the next 5 to 10 minutes that'll make sure whenever you fall off your diet, fall off your training plan, you get back as quickly as possible. It's not a big deal, let's fix it right now. The first step to getting back on track is giving yourself a break. If you're watching this channel, chances are you're not a fitness influencer, you're not a fitness model, it's not your full-time job to be in shape. So don't blame yourself for prioritizing other things and falling out of shape a little bit. It's okay, give yourself a pass. If you won't give yourself a pass, I give you a pass. The next thing you wanna do is figure out where you went wrong along the path. There'll be an event that happened, something that came up that first enabled you to stop following your diet. What was that? Figure out what that was. Once you know what that was, we can construct a method to deal with it in the future so that you're less likely to fall off track when the same thing happens again. I have a client, for example, who anytime Fridays and Saturdays come around and he's having an issue with his girlfriend, tends to comfort eat. So he slips off his diet whenever he's feeling emotionally vulnerable and a little bit lonely on a Friday or a Saturday night. Now that we know that, I can actually work that into his diet so he doesn't fall off. Practically, you want to get back on a training plan as quickly as you can, but you want to do it stepwise. One of the reasons I find people don't get back into their diet and don't get back onto their training is because it seems like a huge, big, scary thing. You know, you've gone from training pretty regularly, eating pretty well, to not doing any of it. So to bring it all back seems like a big pile of work. What you want to do, just do it piece by piece. Maybe you can only make it to the gym once a week instead of the 5 times you used to make it. But once a week is a lot better than 0. Maybe you can only eat a couple of meals on plan each day as opposed to all of them. But those couple of meals add up. And it's a momentum game, right? The more you get back into things, the easier it becomes. I would rather do 1,000 small steps in the right direction than one giant step, because that giant step feels hard as fuck. Even as someone who coaches people, someone who's trained for years, if I was to have to start from 0 with no momentum whatsoever, it would seem really difficult. So we want to do little steps in the right direction, build up that momentum, and then get completely back on track over the course of a period of time. Another thing that really helps people is resetting their goals. Everyone's in the gym for a certain reason, whether they admit that reason publicly or not. For me, as I was growing up, I wanted to be muscular, so I felt less weak and I felt more important. If I reset those goals and realize the reason I started going to the gym, that's going to motivate me to get back into it. Even just taking 5 or 10 minutes to sit down with a pen and paper, remember why you started going to the gym in the first place, that's going to reignite that fire. That's going to help you start with those few sessions a week. Food, everyone knows, and if you don't know, I'm going to tell you right now, the main reason you're not at your fitness goals is because of food. That's why when we're trying to get back on track, food is the most important thing we can fix, but it's often the hardest. Because nice food is delicious, but also kind of makes you fat. I have 2 main methods I recommend for this. One is brutally effective and one is gradually effective. The vast majority of people are going to want to do the gradually effective one. But if you're feeling like a bit of a psychopath and you really want to get back on track, start with the brutally effective one. The way it works is this. Once you decide you want to get back on track, everything gets back on track. From the day you decide you're back on track, you cut out all the bad food, you go straight back onto a meal plan, you're only on whole foods, high protein, low carbs, you're straight back into it. You're brutally competent. This is gonna have the fastest and most dramatic results. The first week or so are gonna feel like hell, trust me. But once you're through that first week, you've dramatically accelerated your results. You're back where you used to be. That's a little bit too insane for most people. If you find that too intense, we're gonna go with the gradual results. That's where you slowly work healthy foods back into your diet. You slowly start counting calories again, you try and have a few healthy meals, you up your protein intake until you gradually get along the lines of where a meal plan would direct you. For 95% of people, this is more effective. The brutally competent one is just gonna make you stick really stringent to a diet, then have a big cheat day, blow it all out and throw away your progress. So for most people, go for the gradual results. The final piece of the puzzle that's equally important and will help you align everything else is getting some accountability in your life. Whether this is a coach, family, a friend, someone needs to hold you accountable for pulling yourself back in. It's very easy to just do whatever you want when you're not answering to anyone, but as soon as you have someone directing you, or at least reporting to someone who's monitoring your progress, someone who trains with you, that's gonna hold you so much more accountable. I don't know what it is about people, but they're a lot more accountable to other people than they are to themselves. They'll give someone else everything when they'll treat themselves like shit. So if you promise someone else that you're going to achieve a certain result and you're going to commit to a certain number of actions, you're so much more likely to do it. Let's review so you can get started right now and get things back on track the way you want them. Step 1, forgive yourself for spilling off track. It happens, you're a human being. Step 2, realize what threw you off track and think about what you're going to do next time that happens. Step 3, slowly get back into your training. A little bit at a time, work yourself back into a routine. Step 4, dial in your diet. We want to aim for whole foods, high protein, low calories, get into a nice system of eating well again. And step 5, wrapping it all together, get someone to hold you accountable. This person is going to make sure you're doing these 4 other steps and actually hitting your goals. If you do this properly, you can get back on track in as little as a week. That's kind of psychopathic. Most people get back on track in about a month. If you want to see what a training program would look like to help you get back on track if you've just fallen off or if you've got a busy schedule, that's going to be my next video. So click here. If it's not there yet, it'll be there soon. You're going to have to subscribe.